It was several years ago. I was actually at seminary, and I was doing a course on metaphysical interpretation. And at the same time, you're not just doing one thing at a time. I was driving or somewhere, and they were doing an interview on the radio about the sound of music, because at that time it was in its 50th or 55th or something anniversary. And as I listened to some of the songs, keeping in mind this metaphysical class that I was taking, I realized that much of what we hear in the songs from The Sound of Music are lessons for life for all of us. And so it was one of those light bulb moments for me of, wow. And I'm only half joking when I say all you need to know about life you can learn from the songs in The Sound of Music. So today we're going to have an excuse not just to sing some of our favorite songs, but also to consider the wisdom behind the message and how they apply to our lives today. They can serve as reminders, so every time you hear the song, it can help to remind you about an aspect of your life that you may want to consider improving. And just very briefly about the movie. It was released in 1965. It is now 60 years old. Adjusted for inflation, The Sound of Music is the 6th highest grossing film of all time. Anybody guess what the first one is? Star Wars. No, it's up. Star Wars is up there. Gone with the Wind. Oh. Gone with the Wind is the first. I digress. It was the last work that Rodgers and Hammerstein collaborated on. And it is loosely based on a true story, which is the story of the Von Trapp family, which it lived in Austria, and their journey out of Germany, out of Austria, and to the United States, which is where they settled. At that point, in real life, Maria von Trapp was a 19-year-old novice at an abbey, and she was sent, as we see in the movie, to be a tutor to the naval commander Georg von Trapp. The family became well known as the von Trapp family choir. And they also, as we see in the movie, I hope I'm not blowing any surprises here, they won the Salzburg Music Festival in 1936. So all of these things are true. And they became quite successful in the country. In 1938, the Nazis annexed Austria. And the Von Trapps realized that they were on thin ice, because Georg refused to fly the Nazi flag. He refused also a naval command, and he declined a request to sing at Hitler's birthday party. As time went on, they realized that this was a path that was not going to get better for them. And so they made plans to leave Austria. And that's the place where the movie and reality actually do differ. Because in the movie, we see the family escaping over the mountains. In real life, they took a train to Italy and then came to the United States. It's still a powerful story, though, isn't it? And in some ways, it's very uncomfortably relevant today. And that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about is how taking this book that was written by Maria von Trapp and creating a musical has highlighted the power of standing in your own truth and making that journey. But by making it a musical, it made it so it's relevant and interesting and memorable today. So we know the story that we otherwise may never have known if it was a stage play, for example. The songs help carry the story. Let's look at the songs. We started today with The Sound of Music. And in this song we sing, "The hills are alive with songs they have sung for 1,000 years." Then we hear, "The hills fill my heart with the sound of music." And then, "My heart wants to sing every song it hears." There are two things I'd like to explore in this. The first is the idea of the hills being alive, going to the hills. What do hills and mountains represent? They represent endurance. They represent steadiness. They also represent a higher consciousness, an idea of taking a higher road, going to a place that is higher in energy and vibration and consciousness. In the Bible, the hills represent the place where we can get closer to God. "Lift thine eyes to the mountains. Unto the hills above will I lift my eyes." The 10 Commandments received on a mountain. Jesus, we are told, went into the hills to pray. They became a place to experience God. Now, of course, at Unity, we don't believe that God is only in the hills. God is it. God is all. But they are a metaphor for that higher place that we can go to, where we can step out of our perhaps habitual thinking and habitual feeling and choose to transcend some of the valleys that we may be in. Music represents vibrations of harmony and beauty. It doesn't say sound, it says music. Music implies that there is joyful cohesion of music and song. Singing itself is an indicator of joy and peace. I heard recently that there are places in Africa where there are religious sects that do not want people to hum or sing. It's a way of keeping people oppressed to do that. Mm-hmm. Our natural joy is to express with song, even if you're singing the blues. And singing itself has been proven to have measurable health effects. Increased oxygen to the brain, improved mental alertness, decrease in stress hormones, increase in dopamine, that feel-good hormone. If it's a choice between chocolate and singing, one doesn't go on your hips. I kind of like them both, though. But dopamine, that thing that makes us feel good, sing. The thing is that our hearts want to sing. Those are the words in the song. Our hearts want to sing. Well, don't our hearts long for calm and harmony and connection and contentment. So if we took a look at these words, we're invited to go to the hills when our hearts are lonely. It's as if we're being encouraged to lift up a little higher, to turn from whatever may be distracting us and shift into a place of a higher awareness. And when we do that, we will connect with the solid wisdom that is found as the mountain. And then we sing once more. When I feel lonely, I choose a higher place, a place that is enduring 1,000 years. I know that in this place I will be restored and calmed by the vibration of harmony and beauty. I will find peace, and I will sing once more. Isn't that a lovely way of looking at the song? When your hearts are lonely, go high. Your heart will be blessed with harmony and peace, and you'll sing once more.